Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about one of my favourite ships in Star Sonata, the Phunka.dll. Now this is possibly one of the most misunderstood ships in the whole of the game, so today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I like it and what makes it a great ship. So, I mean, when you first look at it, it's got very, very bizarre combat stats, it sports terrible hull, relatively slow maximum speed, and it's only got one augmenter slot. So, I mean, what actually makes the Phunka.dll good? So the Phunka.dll is outclassed heavily by the Zebra, which is the starting ship for players. Now the trendy Zebra sports 3 aug slots, and it's a faster ship to begin with. Not quite as much hull, but that can be made up for by the 3 augmenter slots. Inbuilt manoeuvrability is fantastic, so the Zebra is really, really a great ship, at least in comparison to the Phunka.dll. Then on the other hand, as a mining bot, we have the Space Blue prototype, which Goofy has proved is possibly the best miner for its level in the entire game. So what purpose does the Phunka.dll serve? Simple. The Phunka.dll is an amazing cost-efficient trade bot which will give the owner the highest value for resources when it's trading from one base belonging to you to 2 AI bases in the same system, or 1 AI base 1 system away when you're using it as a trade bot. The Phunka.dll Plus is slightly better for this purpose, but then again the standard Phunka.dll is absolutely great, and it will give you the highest yield that you will get per resource, giving the bases a time to empty the resources and replenish everything, which basically means that you're going to get the highest profit per resource traded to the base. So how do we outfit this trade bot? Well, for engines I recommend the Cadet Zoomer. In terms of size and handling, it is probably the best engine of its tech, and it's very, very cheap, cost efficient, and can be easily acquired by the player. So the Cadet Zoomer is definitely preferable to something like the Qt Drive, which is a really, really good engine, but it's just a little bit annoying to procure. So we want to strip down that, and it's perfectly capable of handling any of the standard resources. For the radar, I recommend going with either the Hewlett or the Hewlett Plus. You don't really need anything more to see the AI bases, so expending on something like an Ande radar would be absolutely useless. And the Funka comes with an inbuilt radar boost anyway of 30%, so you don't actually need that good a radar, because you'll be able to see your base and the AI base pretty easily. In terms of hull expanders, I don't really recommend anything beyond the hull extension, because then you're going to be trading too much resources and you're going to cut down on the profit made per resource. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that we've got the best profit per resource available. Now for shields, the Slipstream Plus is ideal when it comes to transporting goods between 2 bases in the AI system. If the distance is more than 8,000, say for example from your base to the AI base to your base to the other AI base, you're possibly going to be wanting to expend some money on something a little bit faster, like a ghost stream, for example. Or if there's a large amount of distance between the wormholes and the bases in the other system, which is 1 jump away, then it is a good idea to invest in a ghost stream. But it's never important to really go too crazy when it comes to the shields. I mean, the Slipstream Plus is absolutely fine, and this is absolutely great for people who are free to play, who don't want to expend too much money on crazy shields just for that extra bit of percentage. You're still going to get a great profit from the AI bases. It's not something which is really, really important when it comes to this, because you want higher profit per resource rather than just more profit made quicker, if that makes sense. You want things to go steadily. That's the whole benefit of using the Funka, which you're not going to be able to get if you're using strategic deployment. Strategic deployment will add an extra 50 speed if the ship's not been involved in combat, and that applies to trade bots. And so that if you've got strategic deployment, you'll be able to not even use a speed shield, which is great. And you can, if you do use a speed shield, you can get up to 3 jumps away. And still get a great profit. So the Funkas start becoming really, really useful for doing long distance deliveries. Merchant Fleet Master, I would use completely different ships, especially at the high levels, but Phunka.dll is really, really good. And this doesn't actually factor in things like the bar skills. If you're looking into bar skills, you're going to be this isn't the ship for you. You're going to want to use something like bulk freighters or something at least bigger, like the NCCs. They are an ideal ship to use if you have the bar skills. However, from the low-level perspective and for a starter, the Phunka.dll is the best you're going to get, and it is really, really good. I highly recommend using the Phunka.dll. Plus they glow. That glow is brilliant, and I love it. So, which augmenter should I use? You're probably thinking. Well, actually, when it comes to augmenters, it doesn't really matter that much. If you've got a fast-moving base, then I recommend a docking augmenter. The extra capacity and the fact that you can dock in your fast-moving base, that is going to be absolutely ideal for trading. If you've got a stationary base, you're probably not going to really need to worry about the augmenter slot. I recommend a resistance augmenter purely because they are just generally really, really good. They will help your Funka stay alive if it gets attacked by things like fly swatters, random AI, if the Urka attack you for any reason, if a member of your team has upset anybody. These are little things that you'll probably want to think about. Now, if you've got drones all over the place, your bases are really cool, they're properly auged and they can take out the AI, you've got healing things, you're not going to really need to worry about all this sort of stuff too much. But if you don't have any of that, then a resistance aug is absolutely fine. Hestia augs are really, really good if you want a cheap sort of augmenter that you can get from any player. Because if you're using something like a Hestia aug, then it's absolutely great. That's pretty much the Funka in a nutshell. It's one of my favourite ships, and it is very, very underused by people. There are quite a few low-level players who've figured out that actually it's a really, really great ship, and it's better than in many ways than bulk traders, purely because you can have them going to more different places, and also because you can work with ships like, for example, the Paximinus, which means that you can have Funkas doing one thing. They can be sort of doing the deliveries for you, and Paximinus go out into a little bit more dangerous territory because they've got those resistances, and they can be built to withstand a fierce amount of damage. And that way you're using your slots ideally, because you've got the one Funka, the Paximinus, so that's the 4, and that would be the equivalent of 1 and 1, if that makes sense. If I'm sounding crazy, it's just because I am. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that you start using Funkas. If you have high bar skills, if you've got a shit, if you're using light fighters, like for example you're a speed demon or you're a seer, the Phunka.dll is not quite as good to be used in the same way, but then you can go to 3 to 4 jumps in different directions, and you can really maximise the profit that you can make out of the smaller fighters. And you might want to think about maybe using wing ships instead, because the wing ships can be used in amazing ways. I use wing ship 2s a lot, especially when it comes to delivering things like in ICs, industrial commodities. Now, but this is the thing about the Funka. The Funka is a cool ship, you should fly it, and if you don't fly it, well, I'm disappointed in you.